What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. It's a special Tuesday edition. Get
Yeah.
Right Fantasy Network. I'm here with Classic Mike. What's
What
up,
up?
Mike?
Not much,
And
man. Enjoying
uh,
this good old Memorial Day weekend.
absolutely. So happy Memorial Day to all those out there in remembrance. Of course, we want to pay our tributes there. But we're definitely looking forward, man. Memorial Day is, kind of like one of those, you know, spots in the fantasy kind of realm. We are getting closer and closer. It's kind of almost the start of summer, which means football and then a little more football. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah, me too.
Let's do it. So, we're here tonight, man. We're doing our draft grade video. One of my favorite, things to do here in the off season, breaking down teams, getting these mocks going on. It's fun, man. Just kind of breaking these things down, seeing how teams are being constructed. How you want to do, your own team. So we're gonna kind of, get through that here. So it'll be a lot of fun. We had a special guest on
I
Friday, man. How was
know,
that? How was having
dude.
Big Trav in the house?
Oh, it's always a blast. Me and him had a really good time on here. Just chatting away, and he gave me a lot of good insight on a lot of players that I'm a little down on. But either way, it was just I had a blast. Couldn't be happier. Can't wait to have him or any of the guys on his, on the Fantasy Whisperers back here. And joining them and collabing with them, anything that we can do, I'm excited. So
Absolutely, man. So that's what we're doing, man. We're working hard behind the scenes to bring you guys just different opinions, than our own, of course. It's nice to, reach out there. It's a great, just place to be as far as, getting together with all of these, folks in this industry. It's a lot of fun just talking football. At the end of the day, people geeking out on this game, just as much as you and I. So it's just, a lot of fun to be able to do this. I was real jealous. I wanted to be on there, but I was in the chat. I watched every minute of it. It was a great show, great mock. And I can't wait to start breaking it down, man.
yeah, me
Um,
too.
but first, of course, we have to get that, little announcement out there real quick before we get into all the stuff. As you guys know, help support us, man. We appreciate it. Check us out, underdogfantasy.com. Get in the best ball mania, man. They have a great best ball drafts going on over there. And then let alone once the season starts, getting in those pick'ems and rivalry picks, and all that good stuff. Such a great platform. Weekly DFS. They're expanding. They have it all. So check them out, underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code Get Right. And they're doing a deposit match up to $100. They will match it for you, so that's free money. Put 100 down, get
Nice.
200 in your account. So take advantage of it. A lot of fun. We'll be doing inviting you guys into some best ball drafts as we get closer here. We'll definitely be streaming some of those. So come in and join us. So make sure you have that account. And again, promo code Get Right. And so we'll just leave it at that. We'll sprinkle in some of the other stuff as we go, man. I just want to start getting into these teams and breaking down this mock. So before, go ahead and bring it up on the screen before we get into that. Get to some of the chats here. We got Wilson in the house. What's up, Wilson? Ambassador extraordinaire. What up? How's it going? We got Joka in here. What's up, Joka?
Joka?
How's it going, man? We got a Dustin sighting, man. I think he's in Disneyland right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
so that's
say,
why
yeah.
he couldn't join us tonight. Creating those memories, waiting in lines over there, riding those rides. So hopefully you're having a good time down there. We got Xavier in the house. What's up, Xavier?
What's up, man?
Holding it down. He's just saying, just want to say you guys put in the work. Thank you. Always up late, making content for those of us with insomnia. So you get to benefit from it, man. I'm here on the West Coast. It's 9:00 over here, and it's whatever time zone it is over there on the
12.
East Coast, man. So Mike's holding it down for me late.
You guys are lucky I don't have work.
Yeah, man, doesn't have to hold it, man, to hold it down tomorrow. So appreciate him staying up late for me, so we could spend some time with you guys here tonight. Brandon, what's up, Brandon?
Yeah.
Loving the 9-ish cap. The hat is here. Good thing Dim Boys isn't watching right now, or else he'd tell me to burn it. Shout out, Dim Boys. Kind of glad you're not roasting me for it right now, but got to get a haircut going. So we're throwing the cap on tonight. Got to represent just in case. So We got Dylan. What's up,
What
Dylan?
up, Dylan
Cassidy, we got a
Cassidy?
Dylan sighting. What's up, man? Get right, fam, stand up. So we're getting there, standing up, rolling those sleeves up. This is what we do, man. And oh, the cricket man will come back, I swear.
Oh
So
God.
gotta get it up to the shenanigans that Dylan likes to get into. Those are for those late
Oh my
Friday night
God.
shows when we're having fun with that. So just welcome, man. So again, got some people joining us here. Drop your questions in the chat. We'll definitely get to them. Usually Frank, Dustin, they'll pop up in there as well in the chats and answer your questions. And then, eventually we'll get to it here in the show as well. A quick what up from Drunk Squidward. What up, Squidward?
What
He
up,
and I
man?
were in the chat last week. So we're back at it, man. We're getting we're in that right time zone again. We're getting all of our guys back from last year. So again, it's just nice being back behind the camera here. So without any further ado, I'm done hearing myself talk again as we are. But a lot of fun, man. I get excited doing this thing here for you guys. So let's do it, man. I'll let you break this one down since this is your brother's team. We got Jay
Yeah.
Birdie in the one spot. This is a 12-team Superflex PPR redraft. So go ahead and get into it, man. Let's see what he did here at the one spot.
Yeah, I mean, at the one stop, I thought he did okay. Overall, there's a little bit of question marks all around it. So for me, we did the rankings last time on, if we were to pick up this team, how we would feel about it and
Right.
where we would take it. For me, this is like my 10th team. More like a C plus in my opinion, anywhere from a C plus to a B minus. I like the QBs and the tight end, of course. I mean, those are the top, echelon guys for Superflex. So, those are definitely, top guys that you might want. Running backs. It. I'm gonna start with his wide receivers. His wide receivers have a little bit of a bunch of question marks. You got Metcalf and Lockett are both talented receivers, but unfortunately, with Drew Lock or Geno, we have no idea how that's going to be. So they're very questionable. I think Boyd, Renfro, and Waddle are all safe and very, they're definitely going to be getting most of the possessions for their teams in some ways, except for Boyd, maybe. But he's always a very safe option. I'm slowly cooling on Akers. Akers to me, just, I don't know. I just keep seeing really bad things about Akers like recently. And I think it's going to be a lot of a running back by committee there and a little bit more of Henderson after talking to Trav. So for me, I don't feel it. Harris, I don't like either. I'm not liking the Patriots offense right now. They don't even have did you hear this, that they don't have an offensive or defensive coordinator?
Don't buy into all that.
But it's just, honestly, it's one of those things that they have Joe Judge running the passing offense and Matt Patricia doing the run offense. Like it just, a lot of question marks in my opinion. So I'm trying to stay away from that as much as I can. Carter I like as a late round value. Spiller's a solid handcuff, and I'm not going to knock his team for having two QBs, but for Superflex it's kind of important. Otherwise, like I said, 10th team off the board for me.
There it is. I'm not going to chime in too much on that because I hated how we ended last stream agreeing that team was the number 8, and then I guess we're starting this show off. We're both at the number 10, and I also have it as a C plus as far as a grade.
Yeah.
A lot of echoing, some of the same things. I could get in a, rebuttal for some of the things you said there, but it's not really the time for that. We'll let you take this one. We'll be breaking, things down a lot. So you'll definitely get my takes on these guys. But for the most part, like you said, the QBs are fine.
Yeah.
Kind of went hero RB with Akers as your RB1 isn't great, strategy overall. And again, like you said, I don't really like that DK Lockett stack. I think this team looks a lot better. I think if you pick Woods, in there in that spot instead of Lockett in that round. But again, this is why we mock. This is why we do it now.
I would have
see how
taken
these teams
Montgomery.
go together. Yeah, and there's a couple things you could do different there. Just again to us personally, but maybe these are his guys. But again, if I'm looking at it from my opinion, again, this is the number 10 ranked team for me, and a C plus as far as the grade. So we'll move on.
Okay.
So next team we'll get to quick chats in here. Dylan saying Drunk Squidward, giving them the what's up. We got the whole Get Right fam in here right now. Absolutely. Drunk Squidward saying he has a live draft going on right now too as we speak. A 4-hour draft. It's a long one, the Superflex. So keep us posted, man. Let us know how you're doing. Um, Congratulations, man. I'd love to be drafting right now at the moment, but we'll get
Yeah.
there. Dylan saying, sorry he's been gone, but hoping we have a good stream. Glad to have you. And yes,
Yeah, they
they
did.
did draft Kyron
Karen
Williams.
Williams, yeah. But he's more of a pass
Late,
blocker.
yeah, he's more of kind of a passing guy, but again, it's they still did. So again,
Yeah.
they do
It
need some
means something.
reassurances. Kind of I think, more kind of the Sony Michelle kind of
Yeah,
role there, but
they
yeah,
left
yeah.
him, yeah.
And don't forget about Jake Funk. I think he's still hanging around over there too. Um,
Somewhere.
let's see. Xavier Ramos saying not a fan of his team.
Yeah.
So he's kind of agreeing with us there. And he's saying love that team though. I don't know which one he's referring to.
Oh, this
And
team.
throws in his
Pillsbury throw boy.
oh, this one coming up. Okay, so we'll get into it. And then Dylan, we'll get into that question a little later. So let's get down to this next team. So
Sure.
I'll break this one down here. We got shout out to Pillsbury Throwboy. Dude, I wake up, he sent me like a mock draft invite at like 4:30 a.m. This guy's drafting all day long.
Yeah, he
Never thought
is.
I'd find somebody that drafts more than me and you.
Oh,
But if
no.
there is somebody out there, it's Pillsbury Throwboy.
Oh,
So we have him here, and shout out, man. Love getting in those drafts with them. They fill up
yeah.
super quick, like 2 minutes, and they're already like in the second round. I'm like, wow,
Yep.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of fun mocks with him. Definitely hit him up. Connect with him on his sleeper, and if you like to mock, he'll get in there. And we got to start having him
Oh
throw
my
those
God.
links in our in our room as well. But again, he fills them quick. So
Yeah.
again, in the 2 spot here, again, this is super flex. So he goes Mahomes and Brady with his first and second round picks, get those QBs studs right out of the way. Follows it up, with a lot of the, top end talent off the board. Opts for kind of, yeah, man, my tight end 1A and 1B. Andrews here at the 3. Then goes Tyreek Hill, what's kind of left and still kind of getting a quote unquote elite talent as your wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Then goes Mike Edwards and Godwin, stacks them with Brady. I'll kind of get into that a little bit here. So really not that bad of a start as far as just individual talent. But then, he's kind of stuck with, just some running backs here. You got Patterson, versatile guy, Kareem Hunt, Ronald Jones, and Henderson. In between that, there was a Juju Smith-Schuster pick there. Then he has Gronk. Again, piling on the Bucks there.
Yeah.
And then goes Marlon Mack, which isn't a bad pick. I don't think Damian Pierce starts right away, unless they just blows him out of the water and Mack is truly done. And then grabs Sam Darnold, which technically is a starting quarterback, getting him in the last round. I can't hate on that,
As of
but
right now.
that's not the difference between his championship. He has Mahomes and Brady pretty much holding that down, so I don't mind that pick at all.
Yeah.
So overall, where I'm at, I came in here, I gave him a B. Kind of has like 2.5 quarterbacks. Like I said, has some nice top end talent. I don't hate that Godwin, Tom Brady, Evans stack. It's really a high
Yeah, me
powered
too.
offense to really have it there. If you are going to stack it, I like that much better than DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. As far as that goes. And then just again, where it's really going to hurt, you're really hoping that a lot of guys are getting hurt to where these running backs, are pretty much startable. So you're definitely hurting there. But again, give it a B, and it comes in as my number 7th ranked team.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's a B minus. I took him as my 9th team here. I mean, I like the QBs, of course. I love the tight end. Those are unquestionable. But after that, it's weak. Running back is weak. Wide receivers to me are weak. If you stack Evans and Godwin, I understand it. They are 2 top talents, and you stack them with Brady. I understand, but after that, you have no depth at wide receiver. I probably would have gone with, I don't know, Judy or Cooks or Sutton. Like anyone else was available, around that Godwin pick. So I would have gone with somebody else in that particular spot, in my opinion. Um, you know, I think some of the running backs are good PPR options. I mean, Patterson is definitely a good pick. Hunt, Henderson, Matt could turn out that way. Jones is the only one that probably isn't. But beyond that, yeah, he's got a few good PPR running backs, but they're not anything solid to, make me scream like I want this team. So
Right.
for me, it did a little bit better than my brother's team in a way, but not
Right.
really. They're literally like I wouldn't want either one of these teams. Maybe my brother's team a tad more, but they're like right next to each other.
Yeah,
So
see, and I don't mind it. And again, I know we're not supposed to really go back and
no, I
forth,
agree.
but because of that quarterback combo, I
Yeah,
think it makes up for a lot of that difference there. And that's obviously what's happening when you're drafting those, quarterbacks that early.
yeah,
You can kind of erase some of those blemishes. And again, an injury here or there to that running back position. And look at the guys who were producing, last year.
yeah,
So this year, who knows? He might hit the jackpot with all these guys. CH gets hurt, Nick Chubb goes down,
yeah.
and Akers goes down, and he's looking at 3 RB1s.
No, of course.
So again, that's why, like you said, it comes in a little higher than your brother. Like I said, I think I'm at a 7. You were at which one?
Yeah, I'm at 9. So
9.
it's like they're like the same type
Close.
of team. He just has one extra QB, which doesn't matter to me because he's going to be gone in like week 3 anyway. So
Right.
or before that.
Yeah. All right. So there we go.
But I agree with Dylan here. What does he do when he has a bye week for the Bucks? And
Yeah, it's rough.
that's a rough week. My team's the same way when we get to it. I looked at it after week 9 is what's going to kill me, but that's something you got to look at sometimes, but we'll get
Yeah.
into that later.
Sometimes you just take the L, but yeah, we'll
Yeah.
definitely talk about that later. So go ahead, man. Break down Ron's team. Again,
Good
for all the people who aren't
old
looking at it,
Ron.
make sure you read it off to them.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Either go down one by one or just blow through them all real quick and then give your breakdown.
Yeah, so we got Ron Swanson and we got good old Justin Herbert as his 1-3 pick. Then we got Christian McCaffrey, Stephon Diggs, Antonio Gibson, Mac Jones, George Kittle with DJ
The
Moore.
6th.
Yeah, right. I love that pick. And
That's sick.
I hate Bitts going as the 3rd tight end, but let's not get into that now. DJ Moore, Allen Robinson with Brandon Ayuk, Davis Mills, Ramondre Stevenson with what's this guy's name again? Damon Pierce. Damon Pierce. There we go. Chris Watson and wow.
It's late over there. It's okay.
I'm very
we already
tired.
told you. It's been a long day.
Raheem Mostert. So with this particular team for me, I got him. This is for me because I don't include myself, of course. So for me, this is the 11th team that I would pick from. I gave it a C+. I'm not a fan of the running backs on this team. CMC was a value pick in this format, so I can't really knock him for that. But still, I'm not comfortable with him. I'm also not a fan of Antonio Gibson with all the reports of his lesser use and the fact that they have like 5 running backs on that team that are definitely usable. Having both just really scares me. So once he has those guys, everyone else is kind of like they need to hit to be able to be worth it. So he has no running back depth, in my opinion. Diggs, Robinson are great, wide receivers, but I'm really unsure about DJ Moore. I don't know what to say about him anymore. And it's based on what quarterback's there, to be completely honest. I don't trust the offense either, so that makes it even more. Ayuk, I'm not sure about as well. With Lance, I'm just not a big fan of Lance, but that's just me. Tight end, I like George Kittle. He'll always be involved in some way or another. And the fact that you should have a backup for him instead of Mostert, I would have gone like any other tight end just to give him a backup.
No way.
But
I'll take an extra running back over a backup tight end any day.
Well,
I'll stream a tight end on the bye week.
In Kittle's case, I'll take an extra tight end.
Not that bad. Not that bad of an idea.
Well, come on, man. You're a Niners fan. For a fact.
No, hey, I was saying, yeah, not that bad of an idea. But either way, I mean, when you're drafting tight end that high, there is no replacing them. So having a backup to me is pointless.
Yeah.
But anyway, so where'd you have that ranked again? And
I have him at 11, and I got him at a C+ for that.
Okay. So let me tell you. I mean, I'm a little bit higher on this team. I came in at a B-. Just kind of that next notch up. I had it ranked as my number 9 ranked team.
Mm-hmm.
I only has really one good quarterback, like you're saying, the running back. To me, I do like him. And I think that's enough depth for me because they are kind of, again, when you're getting down this late, in those picks, you're just kind of taking lotto tickets anyway. So you're hoping some of these guys might hit. If Harris, gets injured, or again, if Pierce comes in and takes over that job, these are the kind of things you want, some upside, versus getting some guy
True.
is just going to be RB 37 and he's
Well,
just there to have them.
but
So
my other point is that when you have a guy like you had Tony Pollard and Melvin Gordon available at the Ayuk pick, I'm completely fine with Robinson and Moore if you want to, trust those guys as your wide receiver 2 and 3. But if you're able to go with like a Melvin Gordon, who I think has standalone value at that pick, then you have the ability to have a little bit stronger running back depth, and then that team is a little bit more solid, in my opinion. And it goes not dramatically up, but it goes up to at least like my sixth, seventh pick that I would want out of this group, because
fair.
at least it has some depth to it.
Yeah, and that's fair. And
Yeah.
again, that's why it is, lower, out of 9 for me. But I still think, there is enough talent here. Again, if McCaffrey's balling and you do need to fill out some other positions,
Yeah,
you
of
can always
course.
get him plus other assets, if you really needed to, or he might make up, for some of those blemishes. Because again, what do we always say? When McCaffrey's right, he's a RB1 and wide receiver 1-1.
Yeah.
So that's, and you're getting that in the second round at the 210. I mean, to me, it's more of a steal, of course, in Reed in one QB, but I still, again, he was going consensus number 1 or 2 in Superflex even last year.
Yeah.
At this time, so to me that's good value. But again, overall, came in as a 9. Just real risky as far as that goes. So that's where I'm at. So
Okay.
we'll move on. Before we get into that, I do just want to give a shout out to real quick, Mr. Cody McGoats and his team over there with the 2 Days podcast. Check out the description in the I guess in our description of the video
Yes.
here, and there's a link to their podcast. Help them out by subscribing. We'd really appreciate it. I know they would appreciate it. They've joined Get Right Fantasy Network, and I think they're going live tomorrow,
Yes.
Wednesday. So hopefully you guys can check them out. They'll be bringing you guys some just NFL related content, not necessarily fantasy, but of course they are going to dabble in that. So there it is. We have a shout out to Master Binks. What's up, man?
What up?
Welcome. He said Dylan saying Christian Watson is a sensational pick.
Oh,
Ooh,
he
that
is.
was a tough
Yeah.
one.
I think he's good.
And yeah, probably was his better one of the better picks there. Xavier saying you should have taken
He,
Brees Hall instead of Gibby.
I was going to
Um,
address that. He
I
can't
might I might
because
agree at that.
Hall got picked before him, so he couldn't have done it anyway.
Oh, he went right before. Yeah,
Right.
so
He
this option
literally
was
got sniped
Akers.
by scope. Yeah.
Akers, Gibson, I have like back to back, tomato. I probably would have went actually Montgomery over
I would
either
have went
one of those 2.
Montgomery or Jones or Jacobs
I
right
would have
there.
reached for him.
Yeah. Me too.
But yeah. What else we got? Xavier saying Kittle's his best pick, and Dylan saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna let Lance get trashed like that." Wow, Dylan, hey,
We're
I
gonna
know
talk
I'm
about
wearing it,
Lance in a
man,
little bit. Don't
but
worry.
we will talk about it when we get there. But I got to see it first, man. I'm not just one of these guys that's just like, yeah, man. Got to prove it. Get it
Yeah.
there. Got big shoes to fill. We had Super Bowl hopes last year. Didn't quite work out. Came up just a bit short. So can he be just as good and get us over that hump?
No.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm not here to make the playoffs and be a contending team. Like I want rings, man. That's what we play for. That's what I want. So let's get it done.
Sorry.
Jay Media, what's up, Jay?
What up, Jay
Saying
Media?
what's up, Ant? What's up, Mike? I see a couple of Niners highlighted on this team,
Yeah.
and yes, you do. And we were getting into that. So absolutely, shout out to the Niner gang out there. I won't hit you guys with that quite yet, but we'll get into that once we're feeling a little good. It's Wednesday or Tuesday. What day is it? Tuesday. Anyway, let's get into it, man. So next thing we got here, and again, shout out to the 2 Days podcast. Go give them a subscribe, guys. Scope 21. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
He's drafted in the 4th spot. Our first
Brendan
guy
Wilson.
here. Yeah, friend of Wilson. So shout out to Wilson again, ambassador extraordinaire. He comes up with we'll get into the team here. I'll read it off for you guys. In the 4th spot, he grabs Jonathan Taylor. First, running back off the board, opts not to go with any of the remaining quarterbacks left. Jackson, Murray, Burrow, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Stafford, Prescott, Hurts. A lot of these guys are still on the board, but opts to go with the 101 in standard leagues. or I guess, non-Superflex or 2 QB
Yeah.
leagues.
Yeah.
Followed by Trey Law, then CeeDee Lamb, then goes Breece Hall as his RB2 in the fourth, grabs Jameis Winston as his QB2, followed by Marquise Brown, Mr. Hollywood in the sixth spot. Then in the seventh round, grabs Dalton Schultz, who I know you like.
Yes, I do.
Have him
Very
on my
much.
dynasty, so I like him too.
Me too.
Then we go with Hopkins in the eighth round. D Hop, obviously he's fallen down, of course, with that
Yeah.
suspension. Starting to get about where he should be. Then goes Tony Pollard as his RB3, not too bad. Followed by Jamison Williams with the 10th. Then goes Kadarius Toney in the 11th. Followed by James Robinson, running back in the 12th. Alec Pierce, who I like a lot,
Yeah, me too.
in the 13th. And goes Devonta Foreman, trying to maybe work over Ron Swanson later on in the trade if McCaffrey goes down.
Hey, man.
So I like that
He's a
pick
good
there.
handcuff to have.
Not a bad handcuff getting a guy, who hasn't really played much the last 2 years.
No.
So overall, where am I at here with scope? Wasn't really too keen on this team.
Mhm.
To me, doesn't even really have a true QB1.
Nah.
It is risky. And then only has, two quarterbacks overall. So just very risky there. Has good talent at the, skill positions. But again, the picks are just even questionable, especially with some of the guys that were left on the board. At the time he was making some of the picks, I could have, maybe done differently. To me, it's just a very risky construction. It could pay off, but ultimately I had to come in at a C, and as my 11th ranked team. So
Okay.
just not a team I'm looking to take over. It has some potential. Um, don't mind, 3 of the first 5 picks ish or so. But just then it gets, I like some of the late picks, but overall, a team and players I'm kind of trying to stay away from.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is more of I got this at the number 5 team for me, like a B plus. I like parts of this team. I like the running backs and the wide receivers. I like Dalton Schultz as well. I'm a big fan of him. I think all these pieces, I think all the pieces at the bottom with his, running backs, if they pan out, he has a ton of depth. If Robinson comes back from his Achilles, which I know is a very, very what if, um, he could be the lead back for Jacksonville, in my opinion. I do think that they like him. I think that they're willing to go with him if need be. I know Etienne was out last year. That Liz Frank injury is a pain. So we'll see. And Pollard's just, I mean, he's a decent standalone value in some situations. So for me, I like the running back depth. I like the wide receiver depth, except for the stack with Brown and Hopkins, but I understand it. It makes sense overall. I do like Pierce a ton. But of course, there's still question marks here. We're still trying to figure out, Trevor Lawrence. We're trying to see what Jameis Winston can do coming off an ACL injury and, with the team that they gave him. I think he has good weapons. I think he could do well. But he's definitely not that QB1 that you might want. So I still think there's a lot of potential for this team. So for me, it was a little bit higher on my list of teams that I might want to play with. And I still feel like there was a lot, even at the depth pieces that you can kind of play around with. So
There it is. So where were you at with this one overall?
5 and B plus.
A 5 overall.
Yep.
And a B plus for the grade. So there it
Yep.
is. And I like it, man. I like when we have, two different perspectives on the teams. It helps, people, just kind of get both ends of the spectrum, both sides of the argument. And so hopefully we're helping you out with that. So well done. And yeah, Xavier's kind of agreeing with me and you two for the most part, one of those QBs. Jay Media saying I'm still trying to figure out if Trevor Lawrence is the real deal or not. I think he will be, man.
Yeah, I think they
got to
set
give
him
these
up.
quarterbacks a little bit of time. They put a lot of talent around him. May not be the best well spent money, let's say, but they still spent a lot of money.
Hey,
and
they did what they could
have
to get
faith
away
in
from
him.
Urban Meyer.
Right.
That's my thing.
Exactly. So they're making all the right moves.
Yeah.
I low key, kind of rooting for him almost,
Me
just
too.
kind of as that underdog. You just kind of want these guys. I mean, I love Etienne. I love James Robinson, as you know. Like Trevor Lawrence, had him in Dynasty, traded him off, but, had him. And again, if this was a dynasty team, I'd like it, a lot better
Yeah.
than if it was for just a standard redraft here for 1 year. So again, maybe Scope has been doing more dynasty startup drafts versus
Yeah.
versus these redrafts, so it's kind of a different mindset there. So anyway, Dylan saying, Anthony, be honest, do you think Trey Lance or Mac Jones will have a better career / be better?
Mac Jones.
I think Trey Lance can have a higher peak, but Mac Jones is kind of built to play forever, like one of those Josh McCown. So it just depends on
Yeah.
what you're talking about, making more money, superstardom, just what spectrum, you know, are
Fantasy,
you
it's gonna
asking
be
better?
Lance.
Fantasy, yeah,
Yeah.
probably
Lance,
Lance
it's
because of the rushing upside.
yeah. Mac will
But
be
who
a
knows
better
what happens
overall.
when Jones, unleashes, when his reins get pulled back. So
Yeah.
again, we'll never
Joe
know.
Judge, we'll never know.
But of course, I'm gonna have to side with Lance just as the homer pick there.
Yeah.
So there it is. Let's see. Dylan saying, I want to draft with these guys. No disrespect, but man, some of these teams are rough. You'll see, man. Get in one of these drafts. The reason why these teams are rough is because it's a lot of talent in here
Yeah, it's
drafted, man. A
brand
lot
new.
of these
Yeah.
guys know what they're doing. So guys aren't falling to you, kind of in certain spots. There are some people that just have different outlooks, here and there on certain players, which is what we love, getting that, mix. But for the most part, it's tough out there, man. So when you're on the clock, guys aren't coming back to you. So you kind of have to, reach or pull guys, when you feel you need them. So
Yeah,
again,
for
that's
sure.
how your real drafts work. So yeah, draft accordingly. All right. So you can go ahead and break down the next team. We got Bit Boys in the
Yes,
5 spot.
sir.
Go
So
ahead.
we got Eckler going first for his team. We got DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb after that in the third round. We got AJ Brown. We got T. Higgins with Darren Waller in the sixth round, which is great value. Jerry Judy, Devin Singletary with Zach Wilson, Carson Wentz, Robert Woods, Baker Mayfield, good old Alberto. I'm not even going to try to attempt the whole name.
Okunuemu
And
bomb.
nice.
I'm
and
only gonna do it
George
once.
and George Pickens in the last round. Honestly, I like this team. I got him at 4. B plus. He probably has one of the best, running back cores of all the teams. I think his wide receivers are solid and consistent. But he lost me with the QBs. But I gave him a higher grade for this particular team because he actually was the only team in this whole draft that went zero, like basically true zero QB, and
And a
decided to
super
give that a
flex.
try in a super flex. So, I like the Waller and Alberto picks, the Pickens picks. Wow. The Pickens pick is very good as well. I think he'll do well in Pittsburgh. So a lot of I just like the overall construction of what he did and how it came about, even with the weakness at quarterback. I do think Zach Wilson has a lot to offer people, and they gave him the tools. They built the lineup. They're trying to do a lot of different things with Wilson right now to make him that number 2 pick and to do well. So I think that he has a good grouping of quarterbacks, and with with recent news today, Mayfield is looking like a better option every day. So
There it
yeah.
is. I'm opposite end of the spectrum, man.
Yeah, I know. This
On
was the
this one.
only team that we did really like far apart.
I'm off it, man.
Yeah.
So to me, it's my number 12, and it's just again, if I'm picking a team, I'm probably not picking again when I'm looking super flex, I'm looking at pretty much quarterbacks first and then, everything else after. I do want, solid, at least one solid running back, one solid wide receiver, and then some nice pieces and potential on the bench. I'll pretty much, fucks with, any of that kind of stuff.
Ooh.
But for me, again, it came in at my number 12. It's the last team I'd want to grab out of these guys. C minus. Kind of solid starters at the skill positions, wide receiver, running back, like we said. But just zero QB strategy to me. I mean, I respect it, but I couldn't do it, man. To me, with this type of team, I feel like he's going to find himself frustrated throughout the year. Just like if I could have just drafted one quarterback that's like top 14 or 15. Like, don't even like I'm not even asking for a top 5 guy. Like if I just had a top 15 guy, I feel like this team would compete, and you're going to just feel kind of like you're a quarterback away. In a super flex, it's super hard to try to trade for a quarterback of any value just because of the scarcity. So pretty much if you miss out on that quarterback, you just really need to hope that these guys pan out and take a step forward or at least are serviceable. So again, it just to me too much risk. I respect it. I'm glad somebody tried it just so we can have
I
it here and
agree.
break it down. I've seen people pull off the zero QB if
Yeah,
guys
we had a
fall,
couple last year.
yeah, just in the right spot. So it's not like I'm hating a zero, QB strategy in a super flex. It just needs to be pulled off in the right position. And who knows where that spot is, this year.
Yeah.
So for me, again, 12 and a C minus on this.
Yeah, I think he actually was looking to do it more towards the Singletary pick. And, I think Matt Ryan got sniped and he just went, I think I'm going to wait and I'm going to
Right,
just see what happens next round. If no one goes QB, I'm going to go QB here. I mean, there wasn't really much he could play with, to be completely honest, because all the tier, groups, once Winston goes off the board for this particular grouping of quarterbacks, there's not much to play with. You have Matt
right,
Ryan, Justin Fields, Daniel Jones, Jared Goff, Zach Wilson, Wentz, Davis Mills. You're playing with the bottom of the barrel anyway, but you're
right,
trying to find the most upside. And to me, Zach Wilson and even Wentz has some decent upside for these particular groupings. So I don't mind it. Daniel Jones is probably the only. No, I would have gone Zach Wilson over Daniel Jones, just because I feel, I think the Jets are being smart about what they're doing, and I think they're trying to take a leap forward. I think the Giants are doing the same thing, but I have to wait and see.
right. Not bad. So there it
Yeah,
is.
I agree.
Appreciate it, man. Respect it, Bit Boys. Hope you join us again, man. Love the strategy.
Always.
And again, who knows, man? We could eat crow, later on. I hope you it works out and they ball out and you come shove it in our face later on in the year. That'll be so awesome.
Oh
I
yeah, I'm
would
fine with that.
expect nothing less. So please do. That's why we do this, man. So we'll move on here. Doing good on time. So we're going to get into Wilson, man.
Yes,
Wilson's
sir.
team. Help, of course, ambassador of the channel, of the network, of all things Get Right. Just a connector of all people, man. He's a great guy all around.
Yes, sir.
Loves, connecting people, gets us some great, guest folks and things like that. So, again, can't say enough great things about Wilson. We know, he'll be watching this if he's still not watching, already, but he may have dozed off already and, is catching this in the morning. So, again, we appreciate everything you do for us, Wilson. And so let's break down the team.
Sure.
So in the sixth spot, he goes Najee Harris, followed by Dalvin Cook in the second, then gets Devontae Adams in the third. His QB1 is Ryan Tannehill, followed by Keenan Allen as his wide receiver 2. Comes in with Elijah Mitchell as his running back 3. Goes Treylon Burks as his wide receiver 3, followed by his QB2 and Matt Ryan. Then goes Melvin Gordon for his RB4. So very nice depth there. Followed by Adam Thielen. Nice value pick down here in the 10th. Then grabs his first tight end late. Mike Gesicki. Could be a little safety blanket there for Tua, especially if a lot of attention is going to be on Waddle and Hill there. So I don't mind that pick. Then goes Michael Gallup in the 12th, followed by JD McKissick in a PPR. Love that pick in the 13th.
Yes, sir.
Followed by Jimmy Garoppolo, which who knows, what's going to be going on there.
Yeah.
And I did kind of even want to get into that back when we were talking about Ron Swanson's team is
Yeah.
Ayuk might be the wide receiver 1 on that team.
Yeah,
If Debo
he
ends
could
up
be.
getting moved. So again, just kind of throwing that out there. So let's see.
Well, Wilson's
Oh,
all
did you
ears,
pop
so he's
that out?
waiting.
Oh, okay.
Oh
So
yeah,
he's there. What's
he's
up, Wilson?
waiting.
He's been waiting. Appreciate it. So go ahead, man. You break it down first, and then I'll give my grade.
Sure. I mean, I gave Wilson my third best team. I gave him A minus. I'm a big fan of his running backs. I'm always big on having a good core group of running backs and good depth with it. Able to get Najee and Dalvin Cook with Elijah Mitchell is huge. I also think Gordon and McKissick. I think Gordon has more standalone value than McKissick, but either way, they're great PPR options. I think Gordon alone is a low end RB2 flex option in my opinion. Wide receivers are solid. They're not sexy, but they're productive. I'm a big fan of Gesicki this year, not just because of McDaniels and the comparison and everyone thinking he's Kittle and all that. I just think he's a really talented tight end that can do well in a good system with a lot of help. They built the lineup. The offensive line is way better. They have a lot of offensive weapons on this team, so it's going to spread the ball out a little bit more, and I think that can only help. So I'm a big fan of Gesicki. Of course, the QBs are a little bit weak, but that's okay. I'm a big fan of Garoppolo and Matt Ryan. I think Garoppolo, even if he's not in San Francisco, he's probably going to go to Carolina. And if he's in Carolina, I'm really happy. Tannehill, same concept. I still like him, even though, people are very down on him and they're a little bit more of a run heavy offense and they lost AJ Brown. I still think they have the pieces to do well. So I'm fine with Tannehill. I might have went with Winston or Mac Jones there comparatively, but I'm still happy with the Tannehill pick. Otherwise, I like this team.
There it is. And so what you said and what's your grade on it?
I got number 3, and he is a minus.
Ooh, yeah, look at that, loving it.
I like.
You love those RBs, man. Those RBs.
Hey, man,
with a ticket to your heart. I could see.
We've talked about this before, man, because running backs are a very valuable position, and if you're able to get as many as you can that are in that are in good standing, that you can actually have some depth at running back. Wide receiver is so shallow, running back is so shallow that having those top guys means something to me. And at the end of the day, when you have a weak running, if you're able to get these wide receivers later with value, it means more in the end. I'd rather go for the low, the regular value picks with, Adams is a value there. Like he comes off as the 6th wide receiver off the board with Keenan Allen as a PPR monster later on. Like, come on now. I love that. So I just think he did real well with his, building his team and how he does it. So
there it is. Hey, Wilson, you know the keys to Classic's heart.
Of course. We all
and Dylan saying ambassador's dozing off. How can you sleep and you haven't gotten right yet? Ooh, I love it. Got to get right. Don't got to get right if you stay right. There it is. New slogan for this
year.
Day. It's a school day. There it is. Xavier Ramos saying Tannehill. I'm imagining that in the same voice as Allen Iverson, like practice, like Tannehill. Yeah. So as far as me, to me, I think Wilson. He's been drafting with us, man. He knows drafts. He knows what he's doing. I think he realized the QBs went super fast in this draft. And so he just kind of loaded up at running back and wide receiver, picked out some guys he could target that, he felt probably these guys weren't going to go get, knowing they'd already got their quarterback. So he could wait maybe a round or two, and, still at least found a decent, QB1, so to speak. He is bottom of the barrel, but at least he's there. He's like obviously. I'd like it a lot more, of course, if he still had AJ Brown. We'll see what happens. Obviously, he did get the stack with him and Burks. So again, if you are going to do something like that, at least kind of make that stack and, you kind of build in some, extra little points there for your team, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's also double, trouble if they don't connect. Then you're kind of losing out on that as well. Overall,
feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, what I say, again, they're just decent QBs for their value to make up for that eliteness. But overall, it's just a balanced team with good depth, with some high upside. So I gave it a B+. Not too far off as far as the grade, but it did come in at my number 6th ranked team, just because there are 5 other teams that I would rather have, and that's just the way it worked out in this draft. So other than that, solid draft, man. I think he read it well. When you're in that 6th spot, it's tough. You're getting a pick. In between, it's just so hard to kind of gauge where you're going to be at. You have to read the draft when you're in a spot like that. And, I think he, did well for, his position. And again, got some great value in his picks. So well done, Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Giving him enough airtime. All right, you can go to sleep now, Wilson. You can finish listening tomorrow. We appreciate it. Appreciate all you do. I'm sure we'll wake up and have 3 or 4 new subscribers
Just
And guys
because.
dropping comments just because of Wilson. So we appreciate that, man. Yeah. And speaking of which, like and subscribe, man. If you guys are watching this, I see you guys in there. Hit that like button for us, man. Since you're already subscribers, if you hit that like button, it gets it out to more people, part of their algorithms and stuff, and will help us get other subscribers. So that's a way you can definitely help us out, and get our content out there, man. So we'd appreciate that as we continue to grow, man. Trying to hit 500 and then, of course, 1,000 and more. So we appreciate it. So let's go. Whose turn is it, man? Is it your turn or
I
my
think
turn?
it's my turn.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
FLGDG.
Yeah, we're gonna go. I call him Flag Dog, so I'm just gonna go
Oh,
with
there you
Flag
go.
Dog. Yeah.
I didn't even
Um,
see that. Well done.
yeah, no, you're good. I actually was talking with him a little bit before the show, so
Oh, nice.
he's going to be watching this tomorrow. So I'm excited to. I draft a lot with Pillsbury Doughboy. Sorry,
You struggled with that on
Pillsbury
last stream
Doughboy.
too.
Jesus, yeah, I get it. And then with Flag Dog and Gus Bus, I pretty much anytime I get in with them. So Brandon, we're getting there. Don't worry, we're getting
We're
there.
getting there.
Lamar Jackson is the first off the board for Flag Dog. We got Derrick Henry, Leonard Fournette, Kirk Cousins with David Montgomery. He was lucky enough to fall all the way to the 5th round. I'm a little shocked by that.
Nice pick.
Terry McLaurin, Brandon Cooks, who is Ross's favorite wide receiver in the world.
Lately.
Sean Bateman, Gabe Davis. We got the Muth himself, Pat Fryermuth, going at the 10th spot with Jared Goff, Russell Gage, Travis Algier, and Robert Tunyon at the last pick. So for me, this
Tyler
was
Algier, but that's okay.
Oh, Tyler Algier. Whatever, I was close.
He's a
I
rookie.
said Travis.
He has to earn his name.
Yeah, there you go.
We're gonna start calling him Travis now. It's his new name. Go ahead.
So for me, I gave this team my number 1 grade. This team. I
Flag
thought
Dog number 1.
Honestly, man, I thought this was probably one of the better
Hey,
constructed
Xavier's
teams.
agreeing with you. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, you're good.
We're giving him his praise. He's your number 1. We got to give it a little
I
there.
have to, man. I mean, this was a really good team. I mean, beyond my own bias of Lamar Jackson, I'm very happy of this. I know he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. It is what it is. I'm going to get that out of my head. But I also think that Cousins and Goff are solid options for his QBs. I'm loving the running backs. I'm loving the wide receivers. I, of course, love the tight ends at the end with Pat Fryermuth and Robert Tunyon. The last 3 picks are low risk, high upside picks, for my opinion. I know McLaurin is being slept on, but Wentz was still able to make someone like Michael Pittman a top 20 wide receiver. So I still think he can do somewhat of the same thing. Maybe not top 20, but he's still able to, do something with what he has. So honestly, I like this team as a whole. Brandon Cooks is a solid, wide receiver 2. Bateman's the wide receiver 2 for his team. You got a lot of 2s on this team, in my opinion, but not in a bad way. They all have production. And honestly, the number 2 sometimes can do a little bit better than the number 1 because they get less coverage. So for me, I like these guys. I think they have a lot of upside, in my opinion. Russell Gage is a great pick as well. Algier can do really well if he becomes that one guy. Yeah. Oh my God. He could be I know he's a little bit low on running back depth. He's got 4 guys, but I
like
think
4 and 13, 14 rounds. I think
I like 5 for me. It just makes it where I
know
have
you
a
like
little bit
RBs.
No, I agree.
You've been burned in the past because you keep drafting Joe Mixon. That's why. That's why you need 5.
No. See, Joe Mixon being running back 3 last year.
It's okay.
Let's keep.
He got one in there.
Either way, I like Cousins. I like the offense they're going to be running this year. I think he's a great pick. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Lamar Jackson. I probably would have went Kyle Murray here, but that it is what it is. Or even Burrow. Like I have my own opinions.
I would have went Burrow over either one of these guys.
No, I agree. I like those. Like
or even Wilson, actually.
Yeah, I like Wilson a lot too. So, yeah, he's not going to waver me, bro.
Don't like running quarterbacks.
He's not going to waver me on Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is probably my favorite running back out of this whole group, and he's getting disrespected in drafts where he goes in like the 8th, 9th round. He should be in like the 3rd pick, 4th pick, but whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, I really do like this team. I think there's a lot that can go right, and if everything hits in the right ways, this team is going to be that 12-2 team that could do well. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I'm up there with you, man. I gave this team a A minus, and you
nice.
know me, I don't really give out A's too often.
No,
So he comes in there. To me, so far up to this point in the draft, it's the best constructed team so far. Has good QB talent, solid RB depth, hits that nice, you know, 4 number that I think you need to have minimum.
hmm
Nice wide receivers for the value. Like you said, considering he got Terry McLaurin as his wide receiver 1,
Oh, I agree. Yeah,
after drafting 3 running backs and 2 quarterbacks already, to me, that's crazy value. Like I said, where Cooks is falling after seeing him produce last year, even with Davis Mills,
I think
and
he's
you know them kind of
he'll do
making
better.
some you know progression this year.
Yeah,
I think again. I'm not you know saying he's going to win you leagues, but he's definitely a nice pick, especially when you go with this type of construction
yeah.
as your wide receiver too. It's just a solid pick, not sexy, but at least not sexy for me. But it's there. I
Oh,
think there's huge
it's
upside, of course.
consistency. That's all
Yeah,
that you need.
exactly. If you like to play that way, you know me, I'm boomer
Oh,
bust.
no, I get that. I'm a very consistent, very balanced
Yeah,
player,
I'm like,
but for me, that's
give me it
good.
all or score me nothing because
Give me one high. I like one upside pick, and I like having a little bit of consistency because then you at least have the ability to be at the middle of the pack to be able to get into the playoffs. And even if that's the case, your team is more solid because I've seen it in my league, in my keeper league. The fourth seed has won every year for the last 7 years. There was only 1 year that they missed on the fourth seed. Every other year, the fourth seed has won. And why is that? Is because they had their team built up the way that you're not having a ton of upside, like the whole year, where everything gets to the last couple weeks and everyone just gets hurt. All these teams for the fourth place team, they're always having to fight to get in, and they always have that good, solid group of guys. So I
there it
don't know.
is.
Always been a fan.
And yeah, so basically, you know, Love Davis connected to a nice offense as your wide receiver
Yeah.
4. Fairmuth, Tanyan, you know, great tight end picks, you know, for where you get them. Gets that, you know, what you're asking for in a QB3, just a guy to throw out there for a week, or if you have an injury here or there that you feel semi comfortable with at least.
Yeah.
And then Love the Gage pick late. He'll be good early before Godwin gets back. And we talked about Algier already.
Yeah.
Of course, I drafted him in Dynasty, so I like him, want him to succeed. So yeah, good team, man. So again, gave it an A minus. I didn't quite get my number 1 spot. He came in at number 3 for me, but it is a top 3 team. So shout out to Flag Dog for a great team, great construction, and definitely look forward to more drafts with you here in the future.
Of course.
So let's get to it, man. We'll get to the next one. We got Brandon.
Yes.
We're here, man. We're here. He's been waiting this whole time. Um, we appreciate you hanging in there with us. And Dylan's in here saying when you win a championship with Joe Mixon at the helm, it's a good feeling. So there you go, man. Shout out to Joe Mixon. I'm sure you won a lot of people. You finished RB3 when you were drafted as like RB13.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great, great value there.
Hey, I'll take it.
No, he wasn't that bad. He was
No,
what,
he
like
was he
he
was
was
at the
down
end
there
of the
last year.
first, end of second.
Yeah.
Like he was end of first, early second last year.
Yeah, and 1 QB.
Yeah.
So here we go. So so we had to draw you out a little bit, Brandon. You
Yeah.
know, you might be new. You're new to us here, so you know, even sometimes right now, if I knew you weren't here really waiting on us, I'd even skip your team and just go to the next team.
Nah,
I've done
don't
that
do
in the
that.
past, but I'm not going to do that to you today. Great guy. So let's get to it, man. Let's break it down. My turn on this one.
Yeah, it's all yours.
All right, let's do it. So Brandon is drafted in our A spot. He goes with Kyler Murray, followed by Matthew Stafford. In the second goes Debo. In the third, followed by Connor, Etn, and Dobbins as his 3 running backs. Smashes those 3 running backs. Thinks he gets some great value there with those later
For
picks.
sure.
Misses out a little bit here. I mean, Thomas could be great. But just again, giant question mark there. If he plays, does he play? How good is he going to be? You know, is it Winston thrown to him in the first couple games? Does he wait for Winston to come back? You know, how much practice time, chemistry, all that good stuff. But the upside's there. We've seen it. Dawson Knox in the 8th, followed by Elijah Moore in the 9th. Then goes Garrett Wilson. Don't really like that double stack too much
Yeah.
there, but grabs him in the 10th. Then goes Alexander Madison as his RB4, followed by Marcus Mariota, very late sneaky starting quarterback pick
Yeah.
there. Who knows? Ritter may,
I think
take
Ritter
over, but
takes
again,
it.
to me, he's no better than Jared Goff, and you got him around later. So hey, he's there.
Yeah.
He's just another guy. Khalil Herbert in the 13th. Love that handcuff pick. To me, he's up there with Hunt, Madison, as those guys that we seen last year.
Okay.
When Montgomery went down, he's a RB1. He's a top 10, top 12 ish, top 15 guy when he takes over that role. And then follows up with the Njoku here in the 14th.
Who just got the
Um,
bag.
yeah, he did. He's like, didn't he just request a trade too? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
well,
understand.
I mean, come on,
I don't understand
that's
what's going on
tactic.
over there.
That's
Yeah,
negotiation.
he never even just played. I don't know what
No,
the big
it's
deal
a
is about
4-year,
Njoku.
$56 million contract. Yeah, he's
Yeah, he'll laugh
definitely
all the way to the bank on that
yeah.
one. So, hey, if Cleveland might sign me, you might hear it in the
Ooh.
news tomorrow that they just signed Anthony to like
Nice.
a guaranteed $100 million contract for no apparent reason because that's just
Well,
apparently what they do now.
might be
Uh,
because of Watson, but anyway.
could be. So anyway, Brandon, nice team. I gave it a minus.
Mhm.
So came in very solid construction. I think he read the draft very well as far as how it's kind of unfolding. Maybe anticipated a couple picks, but to me, I think he hit on a lot of his picks there. Except for that Moore Wilson kind of stack there. Love how he just hammered those three running backs and got great value there to really solidify his two early picks. Grabs Debo Samuel which I think is a little reach. Obviously, just with the uncertainty right now, if he does sign with the Niners or does go somewhere else, and depending on
So,
what team that is, again, the whole reason he doesn't want to
you
sign
want
or why he
Samuel or
wants to
AJ
get paid
Brown
is he
though?
wants that, he wants that money. Or if he's going to be used that way. I don't know what to believe, with all the stuff I'm kind of hearing. So I'm just waiting for it to play out, man. If you're a Niner, I'm going to root for you. If you're not,
Good.
so long, man. I appreciate what you did. You made it enjoyable, to be a fan last year. If you got to move on, I understand. So hey, next man up.
Well, who do
That's
you
just how
want
we
though?
roll.
Do you want Debo Samuel or do you want like AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill?
Oh, give me AJ Brown all day over that,
Okay.
or Tyreek Hill. I think that's even a better situation. Um, I just think it is. I think
Okay.
he has a lot of regression. I think where you got him last year and the production you got was
Yeah, wide
great.
receiver 2 is insane. Where
Yeah,
he
it
was
was
in
going
what,
in the
the 10th
7th. I
round?
got him in the
Yeah.
7th last year.
Yeah.
So again, to me, that's that kind of value. I don't want to pay for him this year. So unfortunately, he'll be someone I'm fading, and it's not because of the whole contract situation. So,
Okay.
I had a tough time deciding between Flag Dog and Brandon for that 3-4 spot because I had them both at A minuses. To me, I just felt Flag Dog's team was just a little bit better. I felt his running backs were a little more higher end. Similar, you know, kind of quarterback, so to speak.
Mhm.
You could argue maybe Stafford's a little better, but I think Henry just by far, outweighs this running backs he has. I think there are potential there, but there are still question marks. Two guys coming off, not even playing last year.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, the
you know,
ETN Dobbins. Yeah.
exactly. So again, just some question marks, and I'm not loving that Michael Thomas pick as much.
Mm,
Again, the upside's there, but again, that's why it fell in at 4 for me, but still an A minus. So,
yeah.
very nice team, Brandon. Hope you're still with us, and hopefully appreciate that breakdown.
Yeah. So I gave him he was my 7th team off the board. A B plus in my opinion. I like the top 2 QBs, of course. I'm not a big fan of Mariota, and I think Ritter takes over that job real quick. If not, within the first 4 weeks, I think. I think the wide receivers are solid with some question marks, of course. No one knows what will happen with Samuel, and I know that we've talked about it a little much, but I still think he's a solid receiver regardless, and I think they'll make it work one way or another, regardless if he goes somewhere or if he stays. Either way, I think he's going to be used well. The Thomas pick, I know he hasn't played in 2 years. I know that Winston can be a wild card, but he's still a talent. He'll be out there. I don't mind the Jet stack here and there, but it's hard when you have both of them. I think this will be a pass heavy offense in a way, because
Playing
I
from
mean they
behind,
went, huh?
they'll be playing from behind.
Yeah, I mean playing from behind. They're going to probably be in 3 wide, but they did grab 2 tight ends, so they might be in 12 personnel a little more often. I don't know. Honestly, they're doing a lot in there to make the team better for all different circumstances. So I think that they're going to try to be a little bit more pass heavy, a little bit more aggressive when they can, because teams, they know they're going to be, stacking the box for Breece Hall. So for me, I think they're going to try to be a little bit more, counterproductive and be, pass happy, because teams aren't going to expect it. So Wilson, the Wilson Moore pick could be fine, but at the end of the day, I think Wilson's just more of a depth piece in this particular situation.
Diversify your assets.
Yeah, I get it. I like to do that, but I get why people do it. Actually, if you notice in this whole particular mock, there's a ton
of
of
stacks.
We have the no, not even just the stack of the quarterback, just a ton of stack of wide receiver.
No, that's what I meant. Like double wide receiver stack.
Yeah.
Like Lockett, DK.
Yeah.
You got more Wilson, and I think we had
the Evans Godwin.
Yeah, Evans Godwin. And if you're gonna do it, at least do Evans Godwin, right? That's the best.
If anything. Yeah.
And we even had the tight end wide receiver stack with Ayuk and Kittle. But yeah,
so, I mean, honestly, it's not bad. Otherwise, I like what Anthony said with Herbert. Same with Matson. I mean, they're the solid handcuffs, for these.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Knox. I mean, the only problem with him is he's more touchdown dependent than anything, because he's not really a PPR option. He's more of that like 3 for 80 yards and a touchdown type thing. So I do like Knox. I have him in my dynasty. I have, Schultz and Waller too, but I do like Knox for those big boom games when, they're not really good at tight end, or they don't have a safety that can cover. But otherwise, this team is just mediocre in my opinion. The Connor pick I like. Etienne and Dobbins I don't know anything about, because they haven't played. When you have 2 guys that are literal rookie, like Dobbins has played for 6 weeks out of his first year as a rookie, did pretty well. Then the next year tears the ACL. Etienne comes in, has the problem with the Liz Frank, and we haven't got to see him play yet, and we don't know how he's going to be utilized. Is he going to be just a third round guy, third down guy? I'm still in between on it. I'm still kind of warming to him, but I'm not there yet. I'm still more of a James Robinson.
I'll send you a link when we get done.
Yeah.
James Robinson's not going to be ready till like week 6, 7. Like,
really, they keep telling me. I keep saying he's going to be ready by the summer.
There's no way.
We'll see.
He tore that thing.
Yeah, week 17? I remember that day.
Like late.
Yeah.
And even if he's on an Akers timeline, that still doesn't put him back to like week 3. I mean,
we'll see.
Come on. He needs to be back if he wants a job. Etienne's going to run away with it if he's not ready. So anyway, moving on.
But they didn't address it in the draft, so that's why I'm like, yeah.
Right. So there it is. All right. So, you get to break down his team. You
get
to go first.
Yeah, I get to do it first.
I should have done it the other way. So that's all right. All right, man. Go ahead. So again, big shout out to Big Trav.
Yes, sir.
Drafting with us, man. Really appreciate the time coming on, connecting with us, and making this happen.
Yeah.
Drafted in the 9th spot. Oh yeah, and shout out to the Fantasy Whispers.
Yes, sir.
If you haven't already, you're probably already following them because they have a ton of guys on there, subscribers already. But hit the description.
Everything's
go follow
in there.
Go subscribe to them as well too, man. We'll definitely be doing more collabs and hopefully get more of the guys on. And who knows, maybe we'll all jump in a league together or something. Get Tycoon and we'll all get maybe a league or something going. Who knows? We'll see, or at least a best ball.
No, that'd be cool.
Fun. We're already in a best ball with them already too. You and I.
Oh yeah. I did the 12 team
them,
with them.
So yeah, we'll have
that was fun.
Maybe we'll do another one. So we'll see.
Yes,
maybe we'll do like a 6 team. With the 4 of them and the 2 of us. We'll do it anyway.
Oh, cool.
All right. So shout out to the Fantasy Whispers. So getting to Big Travis team here. Go ahead, man. Break it down from the 10 spot.
So he went with.
I'm sorry.
No, he's from the 9 spot.
From the 9. I apologize.
Yeah. No, it's all good. So he went with Justin Jefferson as the first wide receiver off the board. Then with. Yeah, I mean, it's a great pick. I like it. He's really high on him. I'm high on him too. Dak Prescott is his first QB off the board at his 2nd pick. Goes with Aaron Jones next, and then a very questionable pick with Deshaun Watson, especially today. For all those who don't know, he had a 1 extra person, so 23 civil suits now added, altogether. So this should be interesting, especially if you didn't get a chance to watch the HBO Real Sports. It's interesting. Check it out. Miles Sanders is next. Then Amon St. Brown after that with Drake London, James Cook, Ricardo White with Kenny Pickett. Sorry, I don't
It's
care
okay.
enough
It's
about
late.
him.
It's late. It's
Well,
late.
I don't care enough about him. Chase Claypool, Kenny Galladay, and Mitch Trubisky as his last pick. For me, I gave Big Travie. This is my 8th team that I'd have. It's a solid B. I do like parts of his team. I of course like Justin Jefferson. I think that offense is going to be a lot more pass heavy than people think it might be. Because it's a whole change of philosophy over there. But I'm a little unsure of the use of Amon St. Brown. I think he'll be used in the first 6 weeks until, at least when Williams comes back. And I'm only guessing 6 weeks. It could be, sooner when Williams is back. To me, the running backs are sort of weak, but they have upside. Aaron Jones is solid. I
Love Aaron
think,
Jones.
yeah, me too. And I think Miles Sanders is a solid pick as well.
He could score some touchdowns this year. That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, if Hurts can stop running the ball in, then yeah, he's got a ton of upside. James Cook, we talked on the show.
It's not even that. Kenneth Gainwell had like 6 touchdowns
That
as a
too.
rookie
Yeah,
last year, and Sanders
I
had
love
none. He would
Gainwell
just
though.
like come out and they'd put Gainwell in and he would score.
Yeah,
Like it's just,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of it because he's
Well,
smaller than
he only
Sanders.
had 700. He had 758 or 54 yards rushing,
Yeah,
and
and
he
no
only had
touchdown.
like 2 touchdowns or something like that. Like
No,
he did
0.
horrible.
He
Oh,
had
he had
0.
0. Oh, I thought he had more.
Absolutely 0.
But either way, I think he's a very good pick for the end of the draft, like for the mid round, where the running backs kind of fall off. Mitchell might have been a better pick there for him, but if he's low on him and higher on Sanders, I don't mind it. Cook, like he talked about on the show, he likes his upside with this offense, which is great. Same with White. He thinks that he has a really great catching profile. So I understand why he took those 2 picks. For me, I'm not a big fit. I'm very low on Lockett. And if you're going to, on Pickett. And if you're going to trust your team as a super flex, now he grabbed 4 QBs for this reason, because he wanted at least the Pittsburgh QB in one way or another, if it's Pickett or
Right.
Trubisky. And honestly, I don't trust a QB that wears like gloves on both hands and has to use gloves to
Teddy
throw for both
Bridgewater.
hands. Yeah, I don't care
Yeah.
about Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is still a better quarterback. Anyway, I don't know. I wasn't even a big fan of Teddy Bridgewater when he was there anyway. He's a decent quarterback. He's a good bridge guy now, but anyway. Wide receivers are still a little weak. I see the upside with Claypool and Kenny Galladay. I do like we talked about in the show, I want any piece of the Giants offense I can late, especially. So they could turn out to be really good picks. Drake London, of course, could, turn into
Or
something
easy cuts.
Nah, yeah, maybe an easy cut. I think Claypool is more the cut than Galladay, in my opinion. But it is what it is. Amon St. Brown, I think, could turn into something really good for PPR. And yeah, so overall, I gave him a B with my 8th ranked team.
There it is. I
Yeah.
was a little higher than you
Yeah.
on this team. I came in with a B plus. I thought his QBs were actually solid. I don't mind him at all. With Dak and Watson. Obviously, as long as Watson plays.
Big F right now.
Or if he does get suspended, or maybe this new allegation means he's good for this year and won't serve a suspension until next year if they're still investigating. So it could be actually good news.
Maybe the team goes, we're going to keep you at a healthy scratch like we did with Houston.
We'll see.
Just saying, man.
We will see.
There's so many question marks with Watson right now. It makes it very hard for me to want to draft him in any shape, way, or form without having a ton of backup or something like that. And I think at the end of the day, unless you're getting him in the Pickett area, it's not worth your time because you're missing out on guys like Cousins, Tannehill in this case, anyone that could have been a better choice right there. So
not with the upside.
No,
but again, that's why it's
upside.
early. We'll know more by the time the actual draft happens. So to me, that'll naturally.
Yeah, they said July. They said July they'll
be.
have an answer.
Yeah, so we'll go from there. So yeah, again, I like the upside with Jones. Again, just hoping Sanders, scores. Doesn't have great running back depth, but again, some good potential there. Has a lot of rookies on this team with London, Cook, White. You could tell when he gets late in the draft, he'd rather draft for upside and those what I call the lotto tickets, versus getting guys that kind of what you're gonna get, like an Adam Thielen, or Ronald Jones or Michael Carter. You kind of know what the upside is there.
Agreed.
Sometimes it's nice just to take some different upside because you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And then again, does follow it up late though with some veterans, so to speak, to where he does have that there to kind of just build in some additional depth. But basically that wide receiver room is held down by Justin Jefferson. So
Yeah.
again, overall, gave it a little bit higher score than you, B
Mhm.
plus. It was my 5th ranked team. And just again, overall, just built, with guys that I would like because I know I could trade them off if, some of these pieces hit. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. So again, big
Cool.
thanks to Big Trav for joining us.
Yes,
And again,
sir.
shout out to the Fantasy Whispers. Go check them out on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we'll try to power through the rest of these here so we can get out with you guys here and not keep you too long. But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. We'll get to the only 3 teams left, man.
Yes, sir.
My number 1 team is still here, and that one
Yeah.
of you is included. So did
It
Mike
might be
get my
me.
number 1? Oh, we gotta see. So stay tuned. Or I guess if you're watching this later, you can obviously fast forward and figure it
Yeah,
out.
there you
But
go.
either way.
Yeah.
All right. So in the 10th spot, we got Gus Bus. Shout out to Gus Bus number
Yeah, man.
Gus Bus
Love Gus.
24. I guess you love him. I think this might be the first time I've seen him draft.
Oh,
But I know
I
you've been drafting with a lot of guys.
yeah. These
A
3
lot.
guys I drop, I literally mock with every day at one point or another.
Oh, you guys are all degenerates. I love you guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to all get together.
Yes, sir.
We got Joe Burrow in it for his number 1 pick here in the 10th or in the 10th spot, followed by Jalen Hurts
Mhm.
going as his QB2. Follows it up with the 2 running backs and Barkley in the 3rd and Kamara in the 4th. High risk, high reward there.
Yes.
Followed up with his 3 wide receivers. He goes Pittman, Williams, and Mooney. Love those picks. Kind of like how this team is rounding out. Then goes Hawkinson once he hammers out all those other positions. Then starts building out depth in the 9th with Christian Kirk. In the 10th round goes Chase Edmonds. Nice pick there. Then goes Alan Lazard. Good upside there. Potential. Naeem Hines as his RB4, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Followed up by Naeem Hines Light and Kenneth Gainwell in the 11th. And then rounds it out with Drew Lock, who could be the starting quarterback over
Most
there.
likely. Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I don't know. I've been hearing it's more Geno, but
Yeah.
we'll see. Again,
I
we'll
like
see
Lock.
how it goes. It's probably going to be Baker Mayfield, but we'll just have to wait for him to get cut. So Baker's going there. Jimmy's going to Carolina.
Baker's staying, and
we're all good.
Baker
Right?
is staying. They said they actually had a thing out today
He
that
ain't
Baker's
staying.
not going anywhere. No,
Yeah,
I'm being
they have
dead
to.
serious.
They just have to say that.
No, they
they're
have
not going
to
to pay him
because they
19
have
million to
yeah, but
stay home.
they have Jacoby Brissett.
They
as
could just
their-
pay 18 million and trade him.
No,
Why
I'm
would they pay
telling you,
19 million and have him stay home?
They're gonna keep
over $1
him.
million. Come on.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, they're gonna keep him.
Anyway, we'll hash that out in like a separate 5-minute video, just you and I going on about that. That'll be good. So let's see. What do I got, Gus? Man, I like this team. For me, I gave it an A overall. I
Yep.
really like the construction. QBs, running backs, tight ends. I felt just all kind of lined up where he was. Even though I'm not big on Jalen Hurts, I just think
Yeah, me
overall, just this early, I'm looking more at kind of the construction and the type of players he got in those spots. If that kind of makes any sense.
No, I
And I
agree.
just think he kind of nailed every pick except for the Christian Kirk and Drew Lock pick. I mean, those are the only 2 picks in this
Interesting.
whole draft that I feel like I could, potentially argue with. I mean, I didn't go back and like check and say, oh, who could he have got, instead
Thielen,
with this team so
Wilson,
much, but
Williams,
just more
Lockett.
so for me, those are just 2 guys that aren't even on my draft board. Like I'm just not touching those guys at all. And any team I could draft 1,000,000
Wait,
times,
Hawk and
and I'll
Christensen?
never draft Christian Kirk or Drew Lock. And
Wow.
I'll do 1,000,000 mock
Oh,
drafts
Drew Lock
between
is
now.
whatever though. It's his last pick.
I'm not taking Christian. I'm just not.
Yeah.
That's not an offensive wide receiver that I'm targeting
Oh, I like
in
Christian
my
Kirk.
draft. So,
I like it.
again, that's just me. But again, I can't really argue too much, about it. Like I said, I would have literally taken Jameson Williams instead of Christian Kirk, who fell around later.
Okay.
That's just where I'm at. So, yeah. But overall, I can't argue with it. Gave it an A. And my number 2 team overall. So not quite my number 1. So are you
Yeah.
getting excited?
Oh yeah,
I have
of
my number
course.
one team, and there's you and Tycoon left. One of you
Yeah.
guys are getting number one spot. So,
Well, unfortunately, I know who got it. But either way,
oh, why you tell them that? They
it
didn't know
might be
that.
me.
They didn't know
I
that.
don't
They didn't
know.
know that. Oh, okay. Maybe I gave it away. It's all good. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Either way, A
All right.
minus for me. This is my number two team. This is the
Hey, we
other one.
agreed
We were
again. No
agreed. Yeah, I
way.
know, right? No, I love this team. I mean, I love the balance of the team. It's just the right amount of risk as upside.
Right.
I love the wide receivers and QBs. They're solid-ish. Of course, Drew Lock being that solid-ish part.
Yeah, no
Um,
true just stud elite wide
no,
receiver one, but
no, and I like
very
that
decent
though.
guys that makes it almost better because
They're
they're just plug
solid.
and play.
Yeah,
You can play matchups. Like there's not one guy that you have to say, I have to have this guy in my lineup every week. You can really just play the upside and because they're all going to be within a few points of
yeah.
each other to me.
And
Anyway, go
and
ahead.
and
Sorry.
I'm much high. No, it's fine. And I'm much higher on Barkley just because I like what the Giants did this offseason. I think they built that line. I think they did a lot to make it where they can, help Daniel Jones and help Saquon Barkley. Those are the two things that they did well with. I know Kamara, his whole legal situation makes him very risky, but this thing could go on. This could be a Deshaun Watson type thing where it goes until next year and we have no clue. So if it does happen to be that way, then he's a solid pick right there. And it's a ton of value because I would, Kamara that late is insane.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't believe Kamara went after Barkley.
yeah. Well, that
That's
was
just weird to me.
no, I agree, and that's kind of where my point is I was in shock that even Barkley might have been available at this point. And if Barkley was there with Williams, it would have been a very difficult decision, even for me. Um, so honestly, for the rest of his team, like you said, with the wide receivers, there's so many things that could happen here. I like Pittman with Matt Ryan. I love the Mike Williams pick, with Herbert. Darnell Mooney, I'm still a little bit unsure about because of Justin Fields, but I think Mooney's a excellent receiver. I think he's probably one of the most talented on the board. Christian Kirk, I really do like. I know that you don't like him a lot, but I do. I saw the talent that he had in Arizona, and I think that he can bring it to Jacksonville to help with Trevor Lawrence, and I think he has that ability. I mean, who else are you going to throw there? Marvin Jones, Chenault. Chenault's going to be, taking back punt returns. So for me, I like where they gave money for a reason. I understand they might have overpaid, but I think he's still a solid option. Alan Lazard could be the number one there. And just what we said about the running back depth. I mean, Chase Edmonds got money too. He's not going to go anywhere. If anything, he's going to be at the higher point of, the running back usage. So I think it's, a pretty solid team overall. So
There it
he was
is.
the number two. So
There it is.
and I can't pick mine. So
There it is.
yeah,
You can't pick his. Of course you
yeah.
like yours. Yours number
I
one.
love my team.
Shift whatever grade or rank, whatever rank Mike gave you, just shift it down one. Because we all know what it really is.
I like my team. I don't
There
care
it
what
is.
you say.
All right, so we'll break it down, man. We'll go into here. We got Mike.
Yeah.
Drafted here in the 11th spot. So we'll see what team he put together. Oh, let me guess. He got Mixon and Williams.
Hey man, every draft I get them one way or another.
Yeah. So no matter if you drafted the 1 spot or
Hey,
the 12th spot, you're getting Williams and Mixon. So
and
I'm
because
gonna start dying if you end up doing a real draft and you get neither of those guys. You're gonna be so
you
heartbroken
want to know
this
something
year.
really funny? I have the 101 in my keeper league, and I'm going to be keeping Joe Mixon at the 210. So for me, I have the ability to if Javonte Williams doesn't get kept, I get to at least possibly, if I want to, take him as the 101. And I'm not going to do it. I'm probably going to go Henry, but either way.
That's hilarious, man.
Right?
I really hope you get this combination for real
Right?
in
That would
some
be
draft.
really fun. Yeah.
I love it, man. But yeah, so he goes with Russell Wilson in the 11th spot. Then goes Joe Mixon, Javonte Williams as his RBs 1
I'm
and 2.
shocked he got all the way back, to be honest.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Then you go Tua, which I'm not too big of a fan on.
I'm
As your
liking to a little
QB2,
more every day.
I guess he's growing on you.
I like the line, man. You look at that line. Look at that offensive line.
You're hating on Mahomes, but you're loving Tua. I don't understand.
Because they built their line. They grabbed a wide receiver one talent. They have a good offensive coordinator / head coach that they brought in. They have good pieces everywhere. They're building their defense. I think this team has a real solid shot at taking the NFC East. They are the AFC East.
Well, there we
So
go. And it's
honestly,
going to ride on this guy's shoulders. I'll tell you that.
oh,
They're
for
going to
sure. And I
live or
think he
die
can
with
handle
him.
it. I think he can handle it. And honestly, I've been very low on Tua in like his first couple of years, but I don't know. From what I keep seeing and what I keep reading and what I keep, just everything they're trying to do, it's kind of like Daniel Jones in a way. They're trying to make it where this is his opportunity to do well. So I think that they gave him all the pieces. There's no excuses anymore. So this is his year to prove himself, and I think he can do that with the
I'll
weapons
take
they gave
Cousins
him.
there instead, and you would fly up the rankings with me.
Okay,
But that's okay. That's why we're here.
I don't mind Cousins there.
Then you go. That's your 4th round pick. Then you go Josh Jacobs with your 5th round pick
Oh,
as
such
your
huge value, by the way.
as your RB3. Not bad. I think they're going to
Got
just run
all
him
the
into
way
ground.
back. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him, but I think they'll run him into the ground this year. They didn't renew his
Good.
or pick up his 5th year option or whatever it was. So, for you owners, that's what you're hoping for. As far as fantasy goes, your wide receiver 1 you get here in the 6th round, which is a good value in Cooper.
Yeah.
But interesting that you're grabbing Cooper, even though you have your thoughts about Deshaun.
That's fine.
So I guess
he's
you're
still going to be the
assuming-
number 1 target and getting
I guess you're
a ton of
assuming
targets.
who's it going to be? Josh Dobbs is throwing to him. So
No,
hey,
they have Jacob
Baker?
Brissett. Let's be
or
clear.
Jacoby Brissett.
And it's going to be,
okay.
and it's definitely going to be Baker. If that, they're not going to just cut him for nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a separate one for that. That's too much time here.
Why cut him for?
Then we go. Then we go Cortland Sutton, with your 7th round pick, your wide receiver 2. Then you go with your RB4 and CEH in the 8th, followed by Goddard in the 9th, grabbing your first tight end. Then goes Daniel Jones with your 10th round pick, which I guess is fine. If I'm okay with Goff, I guess I'm okay with Jones.
You have to be. I would have. It was between the two of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's the only options you have down there.
Yeah.
So not bad. At least you grab somebody who's
Yeah, I liked him over the rest of the options available.
Yeah. Not going to argue with you there. Then goes Chris Olave with the 11th round pick, followed by DJ Chark, which not a bad pick, especially at this time.
I love DJ Chark.
Liked him in Jacksonville before there was any trade law there. We've seen them connect, before he got hurt. And I think it was a deep shot when he did shatter his ankle. As well too. So when he's healthy,
I think he caught that ball too.
I think he did. Yeah,
I think he caught that ball too. It was a horrible injury.
Yeah, it was nasty. Yeah, nasty. We sent the video around in our chat. It was just awful. Wow. And Dustin had just like given up for a first for him in our dynasty too.
Wow.
Not too far before that. Then goes David Bell, nice pick in the 11th.
I love David Bell.
But you're grabbing Bell and Cooper, and again,
that's fine.
Depending on who's throwing to him. So it's just for me. And then Darrell Williams, first time he's drafted this year, newly signed to the Arizona Cardinals. So
yeah, that number 2 back.
So okay, team. I give you a B as far as that goes, but as far as taking over this team, I ranked you at an 8. I just hold you to a higher standard. I want to see you get out of your comfort zone a little much. So when you come in and you just keep drafting the same guys, whether you're in the 1 spot or the 10 spot, gotta throw it up, throw it around.
Got Goddard for a steal. Did you see that too?
Come on. This is not bad. Again, I give you a B. I give you a B, Mike. But just again, not a lot of guys, per se that I want to grab or play with. But again, it's my personal opinion. Obviously, we differ. But again, that's why we're here. So I have you at the 8. So, but not bad. Still B. I mean, I still give you a B. I'm not hating on it.
I got to give a shout out to my boy right here, Patrick Lardo. What up, brother? What up?
You got in just in time.
New Jersey native. I love it.
Yeah, got in just in time. And isn't he related to some other Laro?
Yeah, no. His long lost cousin.
Triple, like 3rd generation cousins or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Whatever that was. So what's up, Patrick? Glad to have you in here. Thanks for joining, man. And if you haven't already, go subscribe to the 2 Days podcast. Check out the description, as well as the Fantasy Whispers. If you didn't catch this draft, he was a guest host for us, Big Travie. So go check them out as well. Great content, great mocks. So there it is, man. So welcome. So we'll get to the final team, man. Obviously with you at the 8, that means I'll just kind of break it out there. I got Tycoon here as my number 1. So there it is.
Nice.
Big shock. To me, he gets the A+ of the draft. Just my kind of team. Um, with that said, I'll let you run through it, and we'll run through it first, and then give me your take.
Yeah, sure. So I mean, he goes Cooper Cup as his one, and then he has a really hard spot right here. But honestly, he takes the best options with Cup and Chase at the turn.
Easily.
Um, yeah, oh for sure. And then for me, it was either going Chase at that number, that 111 spot, and then seeing what happens after. But for me, I wanted a little bit more upside. I wanted to be a little bit more safe with my quarterback. Next, you got Derek Carr with Trey Lance. Then you go Ezekiel Elliott in the 5th round, which is a steal in itself. Deontay Johnson in the 6th
As his
with
wide
Kenneth.
receiver 3.
Yeah, as the wide receiver 3. Then we go with Kenneth Walker in the 7th with AJ Dillon
And
after that.
snags Penny in the 11th, just to put that in there. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, and then Justin Fields in the 9th, Ertz in the 10th, Penny in the 11th with Sky Moore in the 12th with Jacoby Myers, the touchdown bandit, in the 13th with Gus Edwards as his last pick. So for me, as Anthony told you, he gave him the A+ of this draft. I gave him the 6th. It's a B+ in my opinion. I think he has one of the best wide receiving cores in this mock, of course. He's got a ton of value with Zeke.
Guys are just going to win them weeks by themselves.
Yeah, agreed. And then, Kenneth Walker could be a steal as well, if Penny doesn't, pan out, but he has Penny as well. So that could work out in his favor. Dylan to me,
Standalone value. Great RB2.
for sure. Him and Melvin Gordon are the same person, in my opinion. They have standalone value. They're low RB2s with high, they're basically low end RB2s that can be RB1s. And you can put them in your RB2 or flex, and they work great. I'm lower on Trey Lance than I should be. I understand his appeal. I know Tycoon knows the Niners, and you know the Niners way better than I do. But for me, I honestly just think that he's like a Lamar / Jalen Hurts with a high rushing floor. Could be a top 10 talent, but he has no arm, and his arm is his problem. So you take away the arm and only have a rushing floor. Yeah, you'll be in the bottom half of the top 10, but to me, I need consistency. I can't have a guy throwing for 2,000 yards and rushing for 800. It just doesn't work for me. And Carr, I think, is set up to be productive. Justin Fields, I'm just not sold on yet. So for me, the quarterback is where I'm a little weak at it. Everything else is just fantastic. So
Blasphemy, Mike.
I know, man. It's just so hard for me to trust the guy that's not even their number one yet. Like they're not even. He didn't get traded yet. Garoppolo. So we don't know what's going on there. We still have a lot of question marks, and they don't trust him. I don't think they trust Trey Lance to begin with. So that's just me.
So I can't believe I'm like, I gotta figure out how to do this here, so I can do this this screen share real quick.
Sure.
Hopefully we don't get shut off of the. Hopefully we don't get shut off here.
Well, what are you trying to show? Let's break that down first.
We're trying to show.
Boot the quarterback left.
Trey Lance.
Here he goes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He has an arm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. I took you off.
Ian, you removed me and everything, huh? You don't want to see it anymore. I see how it is, Mike. Hopefully we don't get the whole stream shut down because of that. We don't know the rights to that and all that. And I think I turned the volume off so we didn't get any of that kind of
No, the volume was on.
My man has an arm, man. And that was just FYI, that was his first NFL touchdown that he threw. 80-yard bomb to Deebo Samuel.
I just don't see it yet.
I'll play for you again when we get off.
No,
but there it is.
Good. I know. 11 for 17. It is what it is.
But yeah, so again, the upside's there. Again, the two quarterbacks, they just have, a lot of potential. I think with the upside with the other guys, it makes up for that. Gives them time kind of develop throughout the year to get to that point where they can produce. And then when you do, this team could take off. Like I said, if I was looking at any team and I'm looking at, those guys are serviceable. Carr's throwing to Devontae Adams. Lance and Fields are going to have that rushing, floor. you have both of them. So if one does get hurt, at least you have the other to kind of, hopefully you got at least one of them healthy at all times. I think they're both, potential QB2s. I don't think you necessarily have like a QB3, like a Goff or someone like that. So I think they, for getting him where he got him, just great value to me all around. Love the picks, love how he put the roster together. To me, really no wasted pick in this draft, and gets just so much value, especially with that Chase Cup combo. Could be just brutal, in a PPR league. So number one, A+ for me. Well done, Tycoon. You know the keys to my heart.
Patrick,
And,
enjoy the night, man. Sorry, I
yeah.
saw him going to bed, and my honest opinion about Tony,
Oh,
I
there you
like
go.
him. We'll have to wait and see. He's coming back from the knee surgery. I think he's a steal in late rounds, and could be a potential, league winner if you really want to call him that. He does have the ability. I think Daniel Jones can definitely make him that way based on how they did with the line. I think he's a very talented guy. It's just he has to show a little bit more team stuff. And once we see that, I think a lot of people will kind of change their opinion about him a little bit. Because there were reports out that he was working on a rap album instead of, working on his knee, but that's a whole nother issue. Other than that, I do think he's a very talented person. We'll just have to wait and see how he pans out this year. So
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. So with that said, man, that wraps things up.
Yep.
Just want to say thank you for everybody here who gutted it out. For those of you, I'm sure you are watching it here later. Again, we just want to thank again Big Trav and the Fantasy Whispers for giving us his time.
For
To
sure.
come out and do that with us. So we really appreciate the collab. Maybe we can jump on theirs one day. Again, they're going to be definitely welcome back to ours. So hopefully more to come there. We'll keep bringing you guys some, great fantasy content here. Rolling our sleeves up, diving into all this stuff with you guys, breaking down the teams. Again, make sure you hit us up on Twitter, Sleeper. That's my handle here. You got Mike's stuff over there. For Frank, Dustin, myself, for Classic Mike here, I'll turn it over to you. Other than that, man, I'm out. I'm
man. We'll see you guys on Friday, and we'll have another thing set up for you guys, and we'll do this again.
Absolutely, man. Friday Night Mock's the place to be. And again, roll those sleeves up, man. We're out.
Later.